As early as 1969, Konrad Rosy, a German computer scientist, suggested that the entire universe is being computed on a computer. John Wheeler, a renowned physicist in early 1990, proposed the now famous phrase, it from bit. All things physical are information theoretic in origin. Edward Fredkin is another American computer scientist. He further speculated that there is this place, other, that hosts the engine that runs the physics. In the last few decades, there has been many science fiction novels, movies, and TV series based on the idea that we are living in a computer-generated reality. These movies, particularly The Matrix, popularized the idea to a very large audience. At the same time, more and more professional philosophers and scientists are taking the idea seriously and have been writing books, magazines, articles, and getting involved in debating if we are living in a computer simulation. Let's now watch a short video clip to get a flavor of this debate and discussion.
What is life for Elon Musk?
As I get older, I find that question to be confusing or troubling. I think particularly when you see the advancement of something like video games. Like say 40 years ago, the most advanced video game would be like Pong, where you had like two rectangles and a dot. But now you can see a video game that's photorealistic and millions of people playing simultaneously, and you see where things are going with virtual reality. Then eventually those games will be indistinguishable from reality. They'll be so realistic, you will not be able to tell the difference between that game and the reality as we know it. How do we know that that didn't happen in the past and that we're not in one of those games ourselves?
Tonight's topic is the universe a computer simulation? We've got some highly thoughtful, talented, respected people to weigh in on this.
The more I learned about later on as a physicist, the more struck I was that when you get deep down under the hood about how nature works, how can I be sure that this mathematical reality isn't actually some kind of game or simulation?
In my research, I had found this very strange thing, error correcting codes. Error correcting codes are what make browsers work. So why were they in the equations that I was studying about quarks and leptons and supersymmetry? And that's what brought me to this very stark realization that I could no longer say that people like Max were crazy. So you're saying as you dig deeper, you find computer code rich in the fabric of the cosmos. Computer code, strings of bits of ones and zeros.
The guy who really started forcing scientists to take this a bit more seriously and gave this idea a bit more scientific street cred, I think, is Nick Bostrom, my fellow Swede, Nick Bostrom.
We are almost certainly living in a simulation. It's a little bit complex, but it's really not more complex than most educated people could probably get their heads around if they thought about it for half an hour, kind of, if they actually tried.
There's this interesting argument by your colleague at Oxford, Nick Bostrom. He argues that the notion of a simulated universe, what do you think about that?
I can't see how you could refute it. I mean, I can't see how you would actually be sure that we're not.
Yeah, as we can see, these experts are favoring the simulation argument. But at the same time, there are many others who disagree. There are actually live debates on the internet on this topic. If you search the term simulation hypothesis, you get over 1.2 billion search results. It's an incredible number. So many people are talking about this and are debating about this point. Most debates focus on if we are living in a computer simulation, or what are the chances that we live in a simulation. I actually think those kind of debate is pretty pointless. The reason being that the true nature of the universe, or the universe in itself, according to Immanuel Kant, is unknowable. Okay? If it's unknowable, whatever we think the universe is not true. If an elephant is unknowable to blind people, what they understand about elephant can only be metaphors like a fan, a pillar, a tube, etc. Therefore, arguing whether the universe is a computer simulation is like arguing among the blind if an elephant is a fan or a pillar or a tube. Of course, the elephant is not a fan or a pillar. And of course, the universe is not a computer simulation. Is the universe a computer simulation is thus a pointless question to ask. The worthwhile question to ask is, can we model the universe as a computer simulation? These are two very different questions. I hope you can see the difference. Yeah. By asking the right question, we get on the track to do science instead of just speculating. Okay, if we can build models, we do science. In science, we rely heavily on metaphors to build models of the universe. The metaphors are picked from concepts we already familiar with. These concepts evolve through time too. For example, in mechanical era, we had conceptual metaphors such as clocks and watches. So we modeled the macro universe as a clock-like machine. When human society was electrified, we had electricity as a conceptual metaphor. So we modeled the micro universe as electrically charged particles. So we have electron, which is negatively charged, and the proton, which is positively charged. Okay, so we use those kind of metaphors to build models. Now we are in the information age. We have now conceptual metaphors available to us, which are new to us. The new conceptual tools available to us nowadays, including computer, information processing, big data, simulation, virtual reality, artificial intelligence. With these new conceptual tools, we can build new model of the universe. To build a new model of the universe based on metaphors like computer simulation, we need to address a number of key questions. These questions include, where is the computer? Where does it come from? What is it made of? How is it built? What are its properties? And who or what is the programmer? With answer to those questions, we are hopeful to build a model